The week of the Food Joint Podcast. I'm your man P.
It's your boy Mills.
What's going on, man?
I can't call it.
You alright?
How about yourself? I ain't getting in there, you know.
Looking right.
I mean,
this
you
week.
know.
Yeah, you know.
Food
y'all
Joint Podcast tees.
Yeah.
We got them coming.
And we have a very special show lined up for y'all this week. We got our brother Dann on the line. Dan, say what's up to the people.
What's going on, y'all?
You know, this is our other brother in arms that y'all heard about so much. Now y'all finally get him on the show. He's not here physically, but he's still here. So we're gonna get right into it. As y'all already know, we do a new format where we do Tales from the Kitchen first.
Yep.
So we're going to get right into it. And Dan, since you're our special guest, we're going to let you start it off. You already know how this works. So, give us your tales from the kitchen.
Oh man, I thought about this one. This was my introduction to the restaurant business.
Okay.
Going in a little cocky, thinking you know everything, and that whole setup. So one day I walk in, I'm about 6 months into it, a little cocky, cool. It's on a Sunday. You know, you got 3 stations. Fry, sandwich, grill. So I got it. Sunday is slow. I'm getting into it, frying, grilling, making sandwiches. Other people just standing around looking at Sunday is boring. So I'm doing my thing. 10 minutes into it, everybody's gone.
Wait a minute, what?
10 minutes into it, everybody's going there. Like I said, I walked in cocky. So this is their way of trying to teach me a lesson. 10 minutes into it on the Sunday, everybody's going. I gotta go to the bathroom. They got me back. Cool. I'm thinking nothing of it. I'm handling, taking care of my business. Them tickets start going off like a firecracker. I'm like, oh, shit. Wait a minute. I'm looking around, looking for help. Supervisor on the other side, looking like, you all right back there? Clearly not. Keep going, you got it. What?
Yo, that is so normal, yo.
They humbled the shit out of you real quick.
Yo, listen. When I say they left that line and didn't come back until every screen was in red, I was like, they came back laughing, cracking the hell up. I'm sitting there standing there like, really? This is what y'all doing? Like, yo, you gotta humble yourself when you get into this business because it ain't all what you think. The little that you do know is not enough.
You know what though? That's golden though.
Yeah.
Because I believe a lot of younger people in this industry when they come into it, it's like, well, how hard could it be? Yeah. And it's like, y'all be bitching about this, but never been through a rush, a dinner, especially a dinner rush. And then they get their asses handed to them, and it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not. It ain't for the faint of heart. Like if you not built for this, you gonna find out real early.
Oh,
real early. And it's like, but with Dan, that shit's so normal. I done did that shit so many times. Like, just oh yeah, I gotta put an order in. I'll be right back. Wait for them screens to turn red. And you could, plus too, as a vet, you kind of know how to get the shit out. It's just like, you just want to see them sweat.
And that's exactly what they did. They stepped back and watched all these screens turn red. Like, all right, let's get in there, y'all.
Now, once they came back in and helped you, how long did it take to get all that shit out?
It took them about, I'm saying about a good 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, they vets.
That's how long they left.
They vets.
Your ass was like an hour. Y'all would have been comping shit, giving shit out for free.
Yeah, sorry, we're having problems with the ovens.
Like, nah, right. Fucking new guy.
So I got you. So my tales is something similar, except I was cocky and I had every right to be. So there's steakhouse.
Okay.
It was Memorial Day.
Mm.
I'm sous chef. So this is within like my first year being there, year or so. Everybody called out.
Wait a minute, what?
Everybody called out. My exec was on vacation. Other sous chef called out. Fucking called out. Fucking I can't remember who. He worked in the middle. Worked middle. I worked broiler.
Was this by design?
Listen. Then Garde Manger had 2 people. My man was the only one that showed up. So mind you, it's me doing 4 stations and doing salads.
That's wild.
We had this not a big number, but by yourself is a big number. We had 80 reservations.
Damn.
I'm like, fuck them. I got this. Yeah. I was good until a half an hour before we left. And then
You hit the wall?
Yeah. So yeah, I hit the wall bad. So before, when I know it's busy, like if we got like 200, anything over 200, there's this drink I drink called Mud. Black coffee, 2 shots of espresso, a little bit of chocolate syrup.
That sounds good.
Yeah, but when it gets you going, that's what got me through the day. But when you crash,
it's bad.
It's bad. And I hit that wall. Family of 10 came in, and I was burning steaks. I fucking burned chicken parms. My man, okay, and he had to come off as soon as he was done his salads. He came over to help out. So I was tight. I was no more pissed. Good after that. Well, I went in when everybody came back that next day. It was a fuck you marathon. And my GM let it go. She was like, I'm just pretending it didn't happen. So, that's my tales. Fucking Memorial Day.
Crazy.
Damn. All right, so my tales from the kitchen this week takes us back to the nursing home. And me and my guy, my man Dan, he's in the story.
Okay.
So remember, of course you do. Remember when they threw us on the 10:30 to 7 shift?
Right.
So Dan and I would rotate. So if he was on the grill, I was on steam table. And then if he was on steam table, I was on grill. Mm-hmm. But we did lunch together. And it was I think this was still like in Dan's semi-cocky era almost. So
it probably was.
We would bid off each other. So if he was over there crushing it on the grill, I'm not doing shit. The steam table, you're literally just scooping food onto a fucking platter. Yeah. You're not really not cooking shit.
Right.
So he was like, yeah, you see all the motherfucking customers I had? You see all the over and got cheese.
Whoa. Don't use that as rude.
It is. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Damn.
All the ladies came over.
Thank you.
I'm still thinking of you on the Patreon.
Yeah.
All the ladies came over. They got steaks and burgers and this and that and fries. You over there, you serving that sad ass meatloaf. So I'm like, oh, he talking spicy. I'm like, all right. When it's my turn to be on the grill, I'm killing it. Everybody coming over. So it was evident though that Dan had his customers and I had my customers. Mm-hmm. And then you had the ones that really didn't care.
Right. So it was nice, healthy competition or whatever the case may be. Until this one time I crossed the line, not with him. It was a young lady that used to work in the kitchen with us. I forget her name. I wouldn't have said it anyway, but I forget her name. No, I remember her name. She used to work over on the grill sometimes. And Dan, do you remember? Because I think was that here?
Man, what was her name?
It's all right if you remember. Just don't say it. It's all right if you remember though.
Yeah, I don't.
You
I
was
don't
there,
remember.
but
I know
you was. I think you was working in the afternoon.
All right.
So I think you was working with her that day, and you was on steam table and she was on grill because she only liked to work on the grill.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And a couple young ladies walked in that were fans of my cheesesteak and grilled cheese sandwiches. And I was like, yo, take a walk. I got this. She was like, what? I was like, these next 3, I got it. Don't worry about it. They asked for me.
Because you was bull.
She was so mad. She was like, "Yo, don't you ever come over here again and interrupt me when I'm cooking the cook for these scallywags." I'm like, "But they wanted my food." Yeah, well, they can wait until the next time you over here. Like I said, don't do that again. Then she gonna say,
"You foul, yo."
Then she gonna say, "And you probably ain't even hitting none of them."
Oh, wow.
Dan sitting there with she sunned you.
She definitely sunned you.
He's sitting there with that face.
She definitely sunned you.
Oh, she did. Big time.
Don't you?
Big time. Sunned the shit out of me. And I was like, you know what? I wouldn't want nobody to shine on me like that. So, yeah, she right.
Do better.
Yeah,
Fuck that. Do better. Give them a reason to request you.
Yeah, well, she did not take kindly to that.
Oh well, do better. Don't get mad. Get better.
And it's crazy because I was throwing them joints because they got them direct. Salt, pepper, ketchup, mayo, fried onions. I know you don't like it.
Fuck mayo.
You don't like mayonnaise. He weird, right? He don't even like mayonnaise.
You don't like mayonnaise?
Fuck mayonnaise.
On your steaks?
He don't like it at all.
Nothing with mayo. Fuck that, bro. No.
Yeah, they was like, "Yo, Pat, you gonna mayo the roll and everything?" I was like, "Yo, I got y'all. Salt, pepper, ketchup, mayo, fries, boom, 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 boom." Throw that joint together. They was like, "My guy." And she's standing there like, "You a bitch."
He hit him with the Poppy Store cheesesteak.
All right, you can have your station back.
And it's crazy. I'm gonna tell you what was so bad about it.
I'd have made you clean that shit.
Well, that's the thing. That's why people always would love when me and or Dan was on the grill, because we never let that joint get too dirty.
Okay.
My thing is, how are you going to cook somebody anything on a dirty ass grill? So after we would get a little rush and it slowed down, we would actually clean the grill. So then when they came in, cause you remember how it was. As soon as you walk in, you look over to the left. First station you see is the grill and everything.
Yeah.
And they would look, and if they saw it was clean, they knew it was one of us two over there. But if they seen that shit was dirty, they knew who was over there.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh yeah, the grill clean." So especially when they was coming through getting chicken cheesesteaks. Your chicken cheesesteak
shouldn't have beef in it.
Your chicken cheesesteak should be white. Your chicken cheesesteak shouldn't be brown. You shouldn't think, "Damn, did I order a beef John or a chicken John?"
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's how dirty that fucking grill was.
Yeah, that's trifling.
And they wouldn't clean it until the cafeteria closed.
And Floss ain't checked that?
Floss ain't never come out there.
Not once.
Damn, all right.
Floss never came out there. The only people that would come out there was Wanda and Gene.
Of course.
And Gene would come out when he would go and have lunch with his ladies. And Wanda would come out.
Or holding court.
Yeah. So Wanda would come out when she needed something, and then she would go back in the office. But they never was really out there.
Oh, okay.
And, it was one of those Johns where it's like, do I really feel like getting into it with them? Because I'm going to say what I got to say, and they ain't going to listen anyway.
Yeah.
So, fuck it. It is what it is. And, that's how it went. But that's my tales, though.
That's funny as hell.
Yeah. That's my tale. So, after Tales from the Kitchen, Dan, we do something a little different now. We go right into our topic for the day. So, you got a topic this week?
I had a topic, but since we got Dan here, I'm going to switch it up.
Okay.
So, at the spot, Dan, tell me, what was your favorite time while we was there? And what made it so...
At the spot?
Yeah, what made it so special?
It was the events with the residents.
Okay, I got you.
Building with them and talking to them and making them feel better at the spot. That was my favorite part. Parties, events in the lobby.
For sure.
Got Carl Thomas over here.
Well, can I ask you this? You too?
Yeah.
It was your favorite time, man.
So, y'all know me.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all know me well, actually. My favorite times back at the spot were the rare times that all three of us worked together. Because we knew two things for sure was going to happen.
Well, it was rare when we was downstairs. When it was upstairs, it was all the time.
Yeah, I'm talking about downstairs.
Okay, yeah.
Down in the earlier days.
Yeah.
Because
the beginning.
Because it was going to, we was going to fly through the day.
And I was going to lose money out my little ass check because we leaving early.
No, you was leaving early. Me and Dan was sitting in the office until 7 o'clock.
That's great. I ain't put me on. That's great.
Closed mouths don't get fed, bro.
All right, touche.
So when we worked together, we knew it was going to be an easy day, and we was going to laugh all day.
That's for sure.
And unfortunately, we didn't get too many of those times when we were there at the same time downstairs. But do y'all remember, like, when we were there? Because it was funny, because if we was all there, me and Dan was working 10:30 to 7, and you was working 4 to 7.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember we had this conversation, and Dan, we had this conversation too. I dubbed from 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock the power hour, because that's when the carts went upstairs. That's when we would, like, get the whole kitchen clean in like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Right.
Then whoever
nobody in there.
Whoever was going upstairs to get the carts, because it didn't matter, because we didn't have any egos. So it was like, you want to get them? I get them. You want to get them? And it was like, Pat, anybody but you, because
you're gonna be up there all night.
You're gonna be up there bidding, and we try and go home. And
especially
like,
on the 4th floor.
All right, yeah. Not at night. Not at night.
Oh, it was on that? No, my bad. I apologize.
Not at night. So
he got tight just now. Dan, you heard it?
Get it right.
He did.
So we go get the carts, push them Johns down the hallway, get them, dump them Johns, clean them, reload them, take the trash out, and we done for the night at like 6:15.
Yo, one time Gene came out, was like, "What the fuck?" He's like, y'all got work to do? I was like, it's done, bro. He shook his head and went back in the office. Probably went back to go to sleep.
No, see, Gene was notorious, though. We got off at 7. Gene would go at 6:30. He would walk in the parking lot, get his car.
Bring it around
back, put that bitch on the loading dock. So at 7 o'clock, all he got to do is close that door, lock it, walk on the loading dock, get in his car, and he gone.
You know what's crazy?
Yeah.
We all did it.
Once we were in the position to, yeah. Because Wanda did it. And it's funny, I remember Gene and Wanda had the same car.
Did they?
They did. I think it was different color.
They both had Buick.
Century?
No, well, I think it was either.
It wasn't Century. It
was Regals.
Buick Regals. Yeah, I do remember.
They both had old school Buick Regals.
One of them had a burgundy one.
Wanda's was burgundy.
Yeah, okay.
And Gene had the gold one.
Oh, yeah.
And Floss had the silver Impala.
Oh, yeah. Damn, that's funny as hell.
She ain't had no leather, though. That shit was basic. She had, like, the cloth seats.
That's fine.
That's all she needed, though.
Yeah.
That's all
she just going to and from work. You had Megatron.
I had the Grand Prix.
You had Megatron.
You was gone when Dan had grabbed his pickup. Dan had an F-150.
Yeah, we was upstairs by then.
Oh, yeah, we was upstairs. But it was cool. Those was the fucking days, bro.
Yo, man, reminisce. Yeah, kind of the same thing for me. Like, it was like the camaraderie, especially like when we start getting on the floors. And once we got on the floors and we figured out how to do it, we would literally be like, all right, who floor are we going to today? Because we had so much extra time, like, just to kick it.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I just feel like I was, and I'm only going to admit this because we're all on the joint together.
It's the reunion.
I feel like I was like so much of a bad influence though.
You were,
because people would see me walking.
Terrible.
What you say? Is that terrible?
He said terrible.
Wow. Cause like the unit clerks and the RNs and the LPNs, CNAs, they ain't care. But anybody in a position of power on the floor, they see me walking up the hallway. And this was before I was actually in a management position. Mm-hmm. I'm still a dietary aide. So they would see me, and the first thing they probably would think was, who the fuck is he here to see?
That's a fact. That's a fact.
First thing that come to mind.
Because he ain't up here to do no work.
That's another fact.
But then I get so much pleasure out of proving them wrong, because a lot of times y'all would be up there So I'm just coming to kick it.
Yeah, help us out.
Right.
Yo, what you need me to take downstairs? All right, come on, give me that. I'm gonna run it. And then it's like, yeah, bitch, you salty as shit.
Come on, dog. Come on. You're gonna insult the listener.
And that example, yeah.
My bad. I reviewed the tape
because they was throwing mad smut on my name all the time. Not saying that most of it wasn't warranted, but those few times when I was innocent, it's like, all right.
See, your only like excuse of why nobody could say anything was you work. I can honestly say that's what I got from you. I do whatever I want wherever I work because I work.
Well, that's how it's supposed to be.
He definitely got the job done.
Yeah, like you afford yourself the opportunity to do nothing because you do more than enough.
That's for sure. Touche, man.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Shout out to Big Bro. He taught us a lot.
Yeah, good and bad.
And more bad than good.
Both ways.
He should have called Dan on the Patreon too, yo.
Nah, we should.
He would have verified everything.
Nah, see, one thing about Dan is he's neutral a lot. He doesn't play both sides against the middle, but he don't be wanting like to be the bad guy. Tell me I'm wrong.
That's very true.
Yeah.
That's very true.
That's very true.
Depending on the situation.
Yeah, Dan, he ain't out here hurting no feelings or nothing like that. He's just like, well, I
see it this way.
It did kind of happen, but he ain't giving you no detail.
I got you. Respectfully.
Yeah.
So, Dan, what you eat this week?
Oh man,
something special.
I've been on a salad kick.
Oh, okay. Getting healthy.
Salad, salmon, shrimp.
Well, yeah,
just on a salad all week.
He definitely on his healthy John.
Oh yeah.
Because he's starting to have a spare tire, like looking like my John.
Listen, all the running around we be doing, you would think we all would be in better shape, but
it's funny because
it don't equate.
It doesn't equate. You know why it doesn't equate? Because all three of us at our respective jobs all do a shit ton of running around, but we also eat like shit because that food is right there in front of us. And it's like, dang, let me just make something fast real quick. What I'm going to do? And 9 times out of 10, something fried because it's easy. Just drop it in the oil.
Mostly fried.
And it's like, damn, I did 10,000 steps today, but you also had a double cheeseburger and waffle fries.
That's what I definitely had yesterday. Had double. It was a double cheese pizza burger.
Damn.
Yeah, delish.
See, for me, it's always a lot of 3 things: Caesar salad, or mozzarella sticks, or a piece of fried flounder, and I'll make a little sandwich, dress it up. But then I got the extra crispy fries to go with the fish.
Of course.
And it's like, bro, what are you doing?
Of course. You're giving yourself sustenance.
Yeah, the wrong kind.
The wrong kind? Sure.
I could easily make an acai bowl and be fulfilled, but it's like, oh, that's too much work.
That's a big thing too, because it's like, you can make something healthy and you can make something amazing, but everything we work in the kitchen is a timing thing. So you always like, I need something quick. I need 5 minute quick.
Yeah. But it's a setup though, if y'all think about it, because the healthiest stuff for you takes the longest to make, but the worst shit for you is done in minutes.
When I worked in restaurants, it was the opposite.
Yeah.
Because I remember I told you this before, but when I was working in steakhouses, the biggest I got was $2.35, because I would come into work, eat a steak, just random steak that's left over, mashed potatoes. I'm pretty good at memorizing recipes. I don't know what happened where it used to be, I misread it. It was supposed to be 4 heavy creams, 1 block of butter. I was doing 4 heavy creams, 4 butters.
Damn.
It was delicious though. And then I would put the mash and I'll put the cream spinach on top. And that would be my meal. That would be, and I'll drink the mud when I knew he was getting busy.
Bro, your cholesterol was through the roof.
What? Bro, when I got my weight down, I was like, I don't even know how I was living like that. But it was amazing going down though.
Yeah, I bet.
Big difference when you feel it.
Yeah.
My whole thing is sweets, like candy, cakes.
That's always been.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's gotten worse as you get older. Like you start eating Skittles for breakfast.
That's trifling.
Tasty.
That's trifling.
Dan tasting the rainbow at
7 in the morning. That's crazy.
But when you get off of that kick, you can feel your body changing. Totally different.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Dan laying across the bed with his fuzzy slippers on, eating a bowl of Chunky Monkey.
Watching a Lifetime movie.
Nah, I ain't gonna put Lifetime on him.
I'm just kidding. My bad.
Terrible.
No, what you mean? Don't hate on Lifetime movies.
Nah, Dan, you be watching Tubi?
Sometimes.
You be watching them hood movies on Tubi?
Them Jones is terrible. I can't get into.
They supposed to be.
I know, but they really, really terrible.
It's
like
supposed
characters change in the middle of the
Dog, they budgets be like $1,000.
No, listen.
Less than that.
Nah, listen. It's just totally unrelated, but they gave this I think it was like 2.5 million to black directors.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
But they pocketing that shit.
I mean,
Yeah, you gotta find the good ones on Tubi. It's not too many of them, but
it's got enough. Listen, I'm a Tubi advocate.
I know.
So,
that's why I said that.
You got ask her?
You know I don't, bro. You be setting me up for failure. you know I do not have.
I don't be purposely setting you up for failure. I just be asking.
No, and I be asking like, yo, ask me a question, bro. Maybe look good on the show. And I got you. I'm gonna send you something, and they'll never send me nothing.
You gotta be on.
Get my question.
You gotta be on top of it.
We answered your John.
I ain't even here.
Yeah, we answered your John.
So this is Ask a Chef. Dan, give us a name. They ain't leave no name.
John.
John asks, how do you improve your plating?
Oh, all right. All right, Dan, you want to take the first stab at it?
Just mainly make sure all the food is in the center of the plate, nothing hanging off.
First off, that's a bar because not many people know that.
Yeah, may have your shit
No,
centered.
they don't. Yeah, have your shit centered and nothing hanging off, and the plate has to be clean.
That is
not too much, not too little. It got to be just right.
That is plating 101, and people be missing that class.
Absolutely, a lot.
Yeah,
some people treat a plate like they say, oh no, it's my canvas. It's like, but we're not doing abstract art here. We're doing like we're plating food. Like your shit shouldn't look like a Jackson Pollock.
No, wait. There's some instances where I've seen it, and it looked amazing.
Where they have like the sloppy garnish and everything and all that. Yeah, I mean that's the one off though. Like if you're doing,
I think that depends on what it is.
If you're in that niche, if you're doing that, then yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
But if you plating up a steak frite, what are you doing?
Yeah, that's true. So Dan gave like the number one answer. For me, the higher the better.
Oh, build it up. Building it big.
Yeah, because the closer it is, to me, I feel like the closer it is to you, the more appealing it is.
Yeah, you don't want, especially like with salads, you don't want them joints to be
flat. Yeah, it's like it just looks. It's like, damn. Well, what is there if it's flat? But if you build up, even though you may use the same amount as you would if it was flat, and you build it up, it's more appealing. It's like absolutely. It grabs at you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
What you got?
Well, what I would say is, don't go crazy, but don't be afraid to dress your plate.
Yeah, true.
You know, like you put the dish on the plate, then you're like Dan said, it's centered. Mm-hmm. Then you have the borders to work with. So you might just want to sprinkle a little seasoning on the board, especially if it's a white plate. Yeah. Sprinkle a little seasoning around the border, depending on what kind of dish it is. So, like if you have a pasta dish, sprinkle a little bit of paprika or Cajun seasoning around the border just to make it pop, liven it up. Edible garnishes.
Mm-hmm.
Not the pandemic driven
purple orchid. Oh my fucking god, I hate those.
Because you can't eat the orchid.
You can.
You can?
Yeah, they're edible.
Well, but then people they take it off.
Yeah, but it's a shit product. That's first and foremost.
I use orchids primarily to dress up the table.
Yeah,
right.
That's brilliant.
You can do it with food too.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. Anything can be a garnish.
Cause remember, we did that event together. You helped me do that event, and we dressed the tables up with the orchids and everything. Cause I was like, I don't want them to go to waste.
For sure.
I got so many. Let's just use these Jones.
Yeah.
But edible garnishments, and what I mean by that, I mean micros.
Yeah,
your micros, your micro mint, your micro cilantro, your micro basil, stuff like that. Just make it pop. Make it more visually pleasing. So I think if people incorporate all three of our examples, they slate to be spectacular.
I got one more. Anything can be a garnish. The micro things are great too, but this is a kind of advanced level thing. But if your knife skills are good enough, you could turn something into something else. Like
an orange or a lemon.
Like an orange or a lemon. I turned. I don't know if I still got this picture, but I turned a pineapple into a parrot. So, and once you get good and you start learning and doing different things, like anything can be a garnish. So always, as long as it's edible, even if it's not edible, it's just to play safe. Only edible things. Right. But you could turn anything into anything.
No, that was good. I agree with all of them.
John, I hope that helps out, man. Yeah. And everybody listening, I know those 4 things are like golden rules. Like this will take you from okay to exceptional if you understand that part.
Yeah, no, for sure.
It's good stuff, y'all. Good stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Damn, we should call Dan sooner, man. Dan dropping gems today.
Listen, when I called him and told him we was calling him for the show, Dan put his thinking cap on. He like, no, I gotta come.
Yeah,
right.
You gotta come with it.
I gotta come right.
I had to go back into the trenches.
Yeah.
This business go a long way.
Bro, listen, Dan, we all almost got 20 years, and now I'm thinking about it. So listeners, you're getting Danner's 60 years of culinary experience.
Right. Yeah. And it's all different perspectives.
Yeah. Damn. So kudos to us, man.
Yeah,
shout out to y'all, man.
It's hard to stick into this game. This culinary game is crazy.
Listen, I remember there was times when all three of us was like, yeah, yo, I might be done with this shit.
Yo, for real. It's like, man,
yo, you heard the post office is hiring? Yo, we out?
Listen,
nah, I'm not out, bro.
Somebody told me that this week.
The post office is hiring?
Yeah, and I was like, let me see how much.
If I'm not working in the warehouse, I never work for the post office. I can't be a mail carrier.
Absolutely not. No, I
can't be out there in the elements. I'm not going out there in the snow and in the rain. It's 1,000,000 degrees outside.
Yeah, nah.
Nah, I'm not doing that. I'm not setting myself up.
That's true. You can be like, yo, how you missed 12 houses? Man, it was hot. I was sitting in the car.
Listen, kudos to the ones that do it, though.
Yeah, shout out to them.
And I probably bang out because the steering wheel's on the right-hand side. It'll take me a while to get used to that.
I'm about to say, but it's low-key kind of easier.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
It's just because, overseas, they say we drive on the wrong side of the road, and then we say they do. But it's a little easier.
Touche, I guess. So, we are at the Q&A segment. Dan, this is also something new that we do, not on our original format, but our Q&A segment, it's as simple as that. We ask each other a question, and then, we answer it. But since you are our guest today, we both are going to ask you a question, and then you'll just answer our questions. And then afterwards, if you have a question for us, then same deal, okay?
All right.
All right, so Josh, he's going to ask you his question first, and then I'll follow suit.
So, a few episodes back, Dan had a question for us about when you know you were good.
Right.
So we got Dan. We might as well ask him the same thing. When did you know you were good? Like, oh no, y'all can't mess with me.
Oh man,
What was the moment?
That was my spotlight. It was at another restaurant, younger days, and Russian. I think I was cooking fish at the time, and they served it to the people, and it wasn't done. And I'm like, damn. Supervisor came back like, yo, go talk to them and fix it. And he was like, listen, I just happen to know the guy. He was like, listen, this is not your best work. This is terrible. Go back in there and do it again, because I know you can do better than that. And this is somebody I just used to work with. I'm like, oh shit, okay. Good looking. You about to give me a second chance at this. So I go back and I kill it, and they got it, and they was happy and excited. And I was like, okay, that's what I needed to understand. Like, okay, this is something I can see myself doing.
Okay.
Like, this shit was good.
There's nothing better than a chance at redemption. I'll tell you that much.
For sure.
Hell yeah, because you don't get too many of those. Listen, this is terrible. I'm out. I want money back. They gone. Leaving a bad review to give you a second chance at it. Ain't nothing like it.
All right, yeah, that's what's up.
So my question for you is, it could be when we were downstairs, when we were upstairs. Doesn't matter when. Doesn't matter what what phase of the job we were in at the time. But what was your favorite part of our time back at the old spot?
Just us bidding on each other all day, every time we worked together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Just us laughing, joking, and kicking it.
Camaraderie.
Once we got the work part down, it was all fun from there. We already knew we had to do. We already knew what we was gonna do, and we just had a good time doing it.
Yeah, I used to be like, oh man, I can't believe I'm off today.
Yeah.
Bro.
See, but Floss wasn't stupid, yo.
She kept us separate.
Floss was not stupid. Floss, because if you think about it, the times when we all was together, same shift, same day, that was Wanda's doing.
For sure.
Because she knew she didn't have anything to worry about.
Yeah, because she was like, listen, I ain't trying to work hard today. Let me bring my boys in here. They got me. I'ma chill. I don't gotta worry about shit. I don't gotta worry about no attitudes, no diva shit.
I don't even gotta come out the office.
None of that shit. Floss, on the other hand, Floss was Mother Goose. Floss was
she was
like,
by the book.
No, and again, a terrible testament to me, because Floss knew Pat gonna take them boys and lead them down the rabbit hole. I already lost him. I can't lose them two.
She
was her guy.
Huh?
You was her guy.
I was.
Yeah, that's why your leash was so long. Because it was Floss, I got it. Floss, I got it. Your leash was long as hell.
Because she knew it was going to get done. She just had to prepare herself for all of the idle time that I had after I got this shit done. She was like, where have you been? I'm like, what you mean? I was doing what you needed me to do. Pat, I'm going to ask you one more time. Where you been?
Upstairs.
I'm lying through my motherfucking teeth, bro. I'm like, Floss, I went to cardiology and I delivered the stuff, and then I had to go to the 3rd floor and deliver their stuff, and then 6th floor they had the wrong stuff, so I had to go and get them the right stuff, took them their stuff. 5th floor, they ain't handle stuff today. They ain't handle stuff. And then 4th floor, they stuff ain't come in yet. So, when they stuff come in, I'll take it and I'll drop it off.
She hit you with the classic. I don't believe that shit.
I get all that. But I know you've been done like 20 minutes ago. And I'm like, what you talking about, Floss? They called me. So where you been? I was in the bathroom. That's the go-to. Cause she couldn't refute that. Like she ain't know if I was really in the bathroom or not. Like I had to take a poop. Like what you want me to say?
That's the crazy part. That's the crazy part. The fact that you like, yo, this 2 hours worth of work I'm gonna do in 22 minutes and be gone.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Just walking around.
I mean that's how it, you know, that's how it should have been.
But she was but we would have gotten so much more trouble, yo.
Well, I think the thing of it is,
well, y'all would have. I was chilling.
You was chilling, and Dan was extremely reliable. Mm-hmm. You know, she knew that she was never going to get no shit from neither one of y'all because one, your mom was still working there at the time.
Oh, I would have kicked my ass, boy.
And two, Dan was extremely responsible.
Yeah. So
it was like, okay. It was a gift and a curse because the decision she had to make was, do I want Pat to do it? Because I know it's going to get done like exceptionally well. I just got to deal with the bullshit. Or do I don't want bullshit and I just get either Mills or Dan to do it and it just gets done. Either way it's getting done. But it's like, damn, if he do that shit, he want to fly through that shit and I can get him to do other shit. But it was like, no. They're not going to get me to do no other shit. I'm going to do what you need me to do, and then I'm going to do what I need to do.
That's the funny part. Once I learned, Dan, you remember that little office we had downstairs? Once I learned that little chair in the corner, she can't see inside.
That was the thing.
That was the spot. One day I was in there. She's like, anybody seen Mills? And they were like, Miss B was like, I think he wanted to go get the carts. I was like, thank you. She's like, all right, just tell him have a good night. I was like, woo. And I used to park it there.
Yeah, that was a corner spot. That was her blind side. She couldn't see nothing.
Unless she came all the way in.
Which was rare.
Coming all the way in. And my dumb ass, I'm sitting at the desk.
Right in front, the desk was right in front of the door. And you just be sitting right there holding court. And if she saw you there, she knew we all was in there.
I stopped hanging out in here though. Hey, I said I'm out of here, yo.
Cause you start hanging out upstairs.
Yeah, I think I'm out of here.
Yeah,
I'm not hanging out down here.
You started to drift upstairs.
But listen, before we go to the next segment, do y'all remember the crawl space that was in that one refrigerator that would take us from the refrigerator to inside the cafeteria?
Cafeteria?
Yeah. I found that by accident.
Yo, when they would lock the door from the kitchen to the caf. When that door was locked and you couldn't get in there, I would go through that crawl space and go in the caf at the end of my shift, and I would get all the snacks and the Wawa juices.
I found that.
Once we knew that, it was open season.
Go out that back door, and then go up right there on that back elevator to the first floor, and then just walk down the hallway and be out.
I found that by accident. Cause I was this is one of them days where I finally figured out how to get done quick. So I'm like, I need some juice or something. And I was like, open it. I'm like, what the fuck?
It was a 2-sided refrigerator.
And I was like, where's the refrigerator? And then I opened the door and I was like, oh shit. I was like, I wonder if they know about this. Yeah, of course y'all did, but it was just like, what the fuck? How was this heat? Like, why is this even here? But I did the same thing. Got mad snacks.
Back in the day, I realized they would keep speed racks in there, but when whoever was on the line, they would open that joint up and just grab what they needed and then put it right there. And I'm like, no, that's genius.
No, it is for sure.
But I also had to be smart though, because I would grab like 2 juices from the back and leave the juices in the front. That way it looks like nobody was ever in the refrigerator. Because you can't come back the next day and the first 2 rows is gone.
Yeah.
Like you can't.
Yeah, so let's get into a motivational mic drop, man. And since we got Dan here, he's going to bless the people with some motivating things.
So what you got for the listeners on the motivational mic drop tip?
Let me see. I didn't even think of this one.
That's cool, man. I told you we was putting you on a fire.
Yeah, I see you definitely gonna put me on fire. Listen, don't be afraid to fail. I don't want you to know everything going into this business. Just you have to fail.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't fail, you're just saying I know everything. But if you do fail, that's just letting people know you're getting better at what you're doing.
Yeah.
So I'd rather you fail and get better at it than to try to do everything great.
No, that's a fact though.
Yeah,
for sure.
What you got? That's a hard one to follow up.
It is, man. I don't know, man. I don't know how to motivate the people this week. You know what? This is what I got. Let knowledge be your guide.
Okay.
Just me being in this business for as long as I have been, I noticed like every time I try to teach myself something, I go down a rabbit hole to, okay, now let me see how to get to the end game.
Okay.
So that's my biggest thing. Like I'm always, still sharp and still. Like I'm always brushing up, trying to get better. Like there was, I should have got it, but I went to Barnes and Noble. They had this vegan soul food cookbook, and I was like, I could do that. But that was the arrogance in me. And then I'm going back to go get it later today because let me not be arrogant because there's something in there I don't know.
Right. For sure.
Yeah, let knowledge be your guide.
So for me,
for sure,
my motivational mic drop would be: you can't always bring everybody with you, but it's nice when you can. And what I mean by that is just seeing everybody's growth over the years, mm-hmm. and seeing where you are, seeing where Dan is, and then just taking trips down memory lane, remembering where we all started to where we are now. Even though I was notorious for showing y'all the bad shit, mm-hmm. I also showed y'all the good stuff. And being able to have my team with me when I was there until we all went and eventually started doing our own stuff, it was very refreshing knowing that you had like-minded people that wanted the same thing. So when you can bring people with you and it works,
oh man,
it's nothing like it. Like it's literally next to, it's great.
It makes it all the more sweeter.
It makes it all sweeter. So it's like, all right, you know what? I appreciate that. And I appreciate being able to be that positive role model per se, where it's like, damn, you know what? I had something to do with that. But sure. They don't even realize they had just as much to do with what I have going on as I had to do with what they have going on. So it's nice when you can bring people with you.
Listen, I always give you flowers, right. your flowers and your praise, bro. I work the way I work because I was working behind you.
Pretty much. That's where it started from.
Yeah.
So once you seen his work ethic, you had no choice but to follow because it worked.
Yeah, it'd be like, even though he was like, yo, you work like this and you work fast so you could chill, but it's still getting the work done properly, not having to go back and do it a second time. Like you did it right the first time, going to something else.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
That's cool. So, Dan, listen, we definitely appreciate you kicking it with us today. We can't wait until you can actually be here.
Yeah.
We have to, figure some other things out so we can have, an actual guest on with us. But until then, this is perfect.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I appreciate being on.
Oh yeah, listen.
Yeah, we appreciate it, man.
Yeah, anytime. Seriously. But I'm glad our viewers and listeners were able to actually have the Migos before the Migos all on the show together.
That's a fact.
And if we kept talking, this episode would be 4 or 5 hours because it's so
much more, yo,
that we haven't even begin to talk about because a lot of it is probably Patreon stuff.
90% of it, we really worked. We worked 10% of the time and kicked it 90% of the time.
And Dan, when we have you on the Patreon, I think you already know the first story I'm gonna have you tell.
What's that?
No, just hold on. Don't say nothing. Just hold on to it. We getting it ready.
You know what I'm talking about.
Let it brew.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Let it brew.
Oh wow, yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, so hold on, Dan. We're gonna do some quick Patreon stuff, and then we're gonna get out of here. So thank you, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Thank you for viewing. Patreon. We see y'all in a little bit.
Peace.
Love, peace, and chicken grease.
All right, y'all.
All right.